Well,
Hey, say
you know
it's
what,
Mary Day.
Akinani, you probably wonder why we worked so hard to get you on this show.
Happy day.
We tracked you down to Australia. We were looking for you all over this big world, this blue planet, and we found you. And then we find out you've turned 20 years old. How fabulous.
Yes. How you see yourself? What did you do? Take a picture, or how do you do yourself?
Well, I just take a mirror and I look at myself, and if I don't find the right color, I just dab it on my nose and see if it's the right color.
Oh, yeah, I do that too. That's great.
Not only did we want to share all your gifts and your brilliance and all your paintings and your poetry.
Everything I do that has a meaning of spirituality. I get up at 4:30 every morning and I do art at 5. Then I do probably 2 to 3 hours.
Akinani, will you share with us what it is that turns you on through your visuals?
Everything. If it's the nature, if it's my dreams, if it's my visions, I believe that it's the balance that keeps me intact with with my art and my poetry. And I've noticed as I'm getting older, I'm able to take anything that is real or in my dreams, and I could take it and mold it as if it's pieces of a puzzle. And I think that is very important to me, to have that foundation, to have that little seed and be able to grow it. That's what inspires me to draw and to write.
Wow. Do you happen to have one of your little books? I say little books. It could be 1,000 pages. I mean, the way she writes and draws, I don't know how big this poetry book is, but you do know one of them, at least.
I have literally about 700 poems that I would write down and I wouldn't have remembered. But there is one aphorism that I really enjoyed.
Before you say it, I want everyone out there, I want you to think of something before she gives it to you that I feel is unresolved, something, a wish you may have, a dream you wish would happen, something that's in your heart right now. Think about it. You've got 1 second. Bang. You got it? Okay, good. Now she's going to give us the aphorism. We're going to see how it applies.
Being immature speaks of who you were. Being mature speaks of who you're going to be. Who you are is what you become.
Whoa. Whoa. Now.
That's one.
Wow, that is amazing. So I want the very last sentence. Who you are is what you become. And those of you who have been searching for something, and those of you out there who don't feel comfortable in your own skin yet, let's go back to our mistakes. Get out there and live. Take some risks. Not dangerous stuff. We're not talking about drug use. We're not talking about leaving home and you're 14 years old. We're talking about a risk that you're afraid to do that you want to do, that'll make you happier. So is that, and what else would you add about, this is your aphorism?
I would add that through my many years of speaking with thousands of people, you were so right on with what you said. People were so afraid to live out their dream, they're always focused on that saying, to be successful, to have the proper job, to make that enough money, to get higher in a successful life, and that's good. But I think what goes back is to our roots. Does that make you happy? I've actually interviewed or spoke with a lawyer, and after many hours of speaking with him, he literally confessed that he didn't want to become a lawyer. He actually wanted to become a gardener. out of all things. That's what made him the most happiest. And a few years later, he quit his job and he became a botanical garden assistant. Like he would go and volunteer for this botanical garden and help with their gardens. So it's those things that make you happy. Then later in life, the money will naturally come. It's just, I think what benefits the cosmos, it will benefit you later in life.
Absolutely. And you said the magical word. We're going to take the kids back again for a brief moment to something they did. Think of something you did that you loved at 5 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old, that you think that only kids do it. And what we are going to reveal to you, I'm not growing up. How about you, Ekanani?
You will find me in my studio with my art and my brush and my palette. I'm not leaving there.
Okay, good. I want to ask you a personal question.
Absolutely.
Did you ever have a little doll that you talked to that sat around watching you paint, that you might look at the little doll and say, what do you think? I know you were talking to your angels, but I had a little doll, and I think she was smarter than I was.
Oh, you know what? There was actually a doll that I had when I was very young, and I would always carry it with me. But I think when I got older, I fell in love with orchids and plants. So I would have my little plants around my easel, and I would literally stare and talk with the plants because I know that they could hear voices and they could respond. So they have this silent communication. So I do that.
Do you know what's amazing? Because they did that whole study about talking to plants, and you were already doing it naturally as a child. I mean, again, I will like to repeat that we're speaking to Ekanani. She happens to be, was, and is, and always will be a prodigy. And I want to interpret the word for you once again. A prodigy is someone who is born with gifts and they don't stop using them. And they just grow into their gifts. And most of us are turned off early. And that's what we want to reiterate, that you understand that the 5 senses, seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, smelling, are only 5. And the 6th sense, which is what Ekanani is talking about, the intuition, the visions, all the magic that happens. And then my sense, which is the
sense of humor.
The sense of humor. And you know why? If you take yourself too seriously, you're going to blow the whole thing. Yes or no?
True.
Tell us about the moments you took yourself too seriously.
Oh, there was a time I was 9 years old, and I got so frustrated with my oil painting. It was called the Planted Eyes, and I got so frustrated, and I just didn't get this. I couldn't fix this problem. I was really doubting myself to ever become an artist afterwards. And there was a time where it was literally raining outside. And I took my painting and I was ready to throw my painting in this pouring rain. Because I was at that time where I would just give up. Like I didn't believe myself wholeheartedly. But then my mom stopped me. And then after a while of convincing me, I looked back at my painting and I somehow just something clicked. Something literally clicked in me to really foresee doubts and foresee those mistakes, because yes, it exists in the world, but what can beat them is the positive attitude. It's you have to overcome that with a nice positive blow, a punch. So that's what I did from that point on, is to try to not doubt myself and don't think about other people's harsh, negative words, and just think about what I believe in and what is true.
Harsh words. You know, our peacemaking, our Peace Smarts book was #1 this year, and it's the bully solution. And what we came up with was that when they say sticks and stones will break my bones and names will never hurt me, names do hurt. Those things do hurt. And those of you out there that have fun doing that to others, no, because it'll come back to you. We don't have to say nice things every second, but if we intentionally say something to hurt someone in a big judgment, we can change it. And so peacemaking is making peace with yourself, so you don't have that that you want to do that to someone else, you know. And I want to add another one. You said you said something about how to change a thought into, let's say, a negative into a positive, and that it's important. We can do that. And my son came up with this. It's called the Ha Ha Gang, that he called it. And
I love that.
And out of it, this was before Ha Ha Yoga happened and laughter yoga. He brought all the kids over to the house for his first film class, and he got us laughing. And out of that, we laughed so hard when he said cut, nobody heard him. And here's how we do it. We have something now called the Ha Ha Healers. So let's do it for him. All we do, we start with the I tell you, you can lose weight. You can lose weight doing this, by the way, if you got a fat tummy, because you actually are working that muscle. And remember, if you're laughing, you can't worry. You can't be angry. You will, if you laugh hard enough, 10 times a day, you will be happy. Why? It's the endorphins, it's all the levels of laughter. So one of the ways of changing it instantly, you want a laugh track? Go look in the mirror. You're your laugh track, and do it every day. So we'll be sharing more of that with you. But this is what we're talking about, isn't it?
Absolutely. I love that. It's positive words and positive feedback, positive people. They just impact you so much. It's unconsciously. And if you have any like video games, negative people around you, you would subconsciously receive those subliminal messages. And you wouldn't know that you received them. It's only later down the line you would start repeating those words and repeating those actions. So I like to call that as a boomerang. So if you take out and throw a positive boomerang, it will come back around.
Got it. I felt that one. Yes, and you know what she's also speaking of is toxic energy. And it creeps up like the creeping crud. Pretty soon it's in you, something that you got from someone else. We call that third-party stuff. And you'll start to recognize, if you start feeling something out of nowhere, left field, that's somebody else's boomerang. It surely is. So you know what we do? We don't even shoot it back to them. We don't want to do that. We just throw it up to the boing, let it just dissolve in the universe, and it in a pink bubble of love. Boing.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And okay, so we're on a roll.
Hey,
and
say
I
merry
want,
day.
is your time okay now?
Sun is up, happy, happy, happy day. Love, 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 sway. Merry day.